Um, my name is Agnes Nwosu, and I will be talking about ozone layer depletion, causes, effects, and solutions. As we celebrate World Environment Day, we should know that the environment consists of so many other aspects rather than the earth, rather than the land, although they all have correlation, they have relationship. So I'm going to be talking about ozone layer and how it affects us. And today, which is we are celebrating World Environment Day, land restoration, desertification, and drought resilience as our theme for the year, for this year's World Environment Day. So under my presentation, I will go ahead and have different structures. I'll start with the introduction, then the causes, effects, solutions, and conclusion. Then there'll be room for questions and other contributions if there need be. So our chairman has made of today's what today is all about. I wanted to throw one or two things, but he has said most of it, and the secretary also mentioned some things too. Can everybody hear me, please? Let me be sure that I am not talking to myself. Okay. All right. So there is no need to talk further on this, but the theme for this year is our future. So we are going to be making more emphasis on the land and how we can restore it for our future generations. So talking about the ozone layer depletion, we're going to be talking about what we do and what we do every day that affects the ozone layer. And we should know that this goes on chlorine, fluoride, and carbon. This chlorine, once it's being, it floats in the atmosphere for a longer time. All these carbons, these elements float in the atmosphere for a longer time, reacting to the oxygen molecules in the ozone layer. Once it reacts with it, it breaks the bond that the oxygen molecule have, and thereby giving room for holes in the ozone layer, as you can see on our diagram. That's these holes give room for more UV rays, more UVA, UVB, and UVC sometimes to pass through this barrier that has been created naturally and to get to the Earth's surface. This effect, it has several effects. It has health effects, it has environmental effects. Some of the health effects includes increased UV radiation exposure, which causes cancer, which we all know about. Some people, I don't know, most people rub sunscreens because the UV rays from the sun has become it has become too dangerous to the point of cancer to our body's slightest exposure to sunlight. So we need some form of sunscreen to protect our skins. And these also affects our eyes, cataracts, people that have cataracts. It also reduces our immune system, making us susceptible to more diseases and infection. On the environmental aspect, it affects the phytoplankton and other marine organisms, because the phytoplankton is also a base necessary of the basic food chain in the marine ecosystem. This continuous exposure to the UV rays kills it, reduces its potency, and affects the food chain in the marine environment. It damages also plant life. Plants no longer grow as they should grow. Leaves are becoming shorter, stems are becoming thinner, ground becoming not having enough nutrient to support plant growth. It also affects animals as well as humans, as I've mentioned before. And these animals depend on these plants that are being affected by UV rays, and they will not have enough food or foliage to take from the earth's surface, or the fish in the sea will not have enough from the marine ecosystem, thereby causing food insecurity, land degradation, as many other environmental hazards that we know of. that's associated to growth. So global response, what's the global response to this ozone layer depletion? Because this ozone layer depletion has been going on for years. It has gone to the point that the Antarctica aspect of the Earth has experienced some big holes, thinning and big holes that have been formed by depletion of the ozone layer, to the point that the UN had to sit, and that was when the Montreal Protocol came into being. That was in 1987. The international treaty came into being to phase out the production or use of ozone depleting substances. And it has gone on to the point of having so much other amendments to it, because when you remove CFC from the production of so many human needs, like our refrigerants, people bring up other ones as substitutes or alternatives to these. These alternatives to, like the HCFC, that's the hydrochlorofluorocarbon, is also one of the ozone depleting substances. You bring up another one, this HFC, also having its own impact on the environment, not necessarily affecting the ozone layer, but also a global warming potential. It has global warming potentials that also is also environmentally not good. So the amendments that have been brought up severally have been adding more and more substances, the halogens, the methyl, the bromides, all these substances to the ozone depleting substances from CFC. And this protocol has had success story over the years, because most industries no longer produce substances that have or equipment or materials that require CFCs to function, or halogens. Most of them have keyed into the Montreal Protocol. The parties too have also gone ahead to, that's the different countries have gone ahead to make their own regional laws and monitoring enforcement regulations that helps to also reduce the production and use of these harmful products. Like as you can see in our diagram, we also have from 1930 to 1990, the CFCs have gone, they have depleted, they are no more in use again. Most people now, to replace the CFCs, they use the HCFCs, the hydrochlorofluorocarbons, which also has its own ozone depleting properties. And it has started, is also phasing out of the industries too, is in transitional phase. It's no longer used in new equipment, although some people still have some old equipment that have it. Then the Kyoto Protocol also looked at the HFCs, the hydrofluorocarbons, which was an alternative to HCFCs. Although it does not, according to this, it does not deplete the ozone layer, but it's a global warming. It has global warming potential, so it's also not good. They have been talking about new forms or alternatives to this. Although this is HFCs are still in production, are currently being used, but they're being phased down. There's a number of years for it to go out of existence that has been planned. The next diagram will show you that. Then the alternatives to HFCs are the HFOs, that's the hydrofluorophyllenes, which are not ozone depleting, and they are not global warming. They don't have global warming potential. So this is the roadmap or phase down stage for the removal of HFCs, which are being used currently. For the grouped it into developed and developing countries. Developed countries have started phasing out since 2019, because the law came in Kigali in 2020. Kigali was held in 2016, but it was developed, whereas the UK and other European countries they are grouped into group 1. They are expected to phase out completely from 2019. Then developing worlds like Nigeria and most other African countries in phase 2, which are the group 2, they're expected to start their phase out in 2024. That's this year. Over the year, we are going to be able to achieve this phase out completely by 2047, hopefully. Role of policy: most other countries have their own special roles that are keying into the Kyoto and the Kigali protocol. Some of them are the US having their Clean Air, Clean Air Act, European Union having their F-gas regulations, Nigeria having their NESRA. I think NESRA is there standing in for Nigeria, most of our environmental laws and what have you. So these laws and regulations, national laws and regulations, control the production and the use of ozone depleting substances from each country, helping us to reduce its effect on the ozone layer. Solutions and directions: technological innovations are always encouraged so that we can also always have new innovations to the HFCs and to the CFCs. These are oxidating elements. We are looking for more less global warming elements and more natural. That's why we are opting for more natural refrigerants like the ammonia, the carbon dioxide, the hydrocarbons. These are more natural. And the other one, which is not so natural, is the hydrofluoroolefins, which the HFO, which are non-oxidating, which are non-ozone depleting substances. Then public awareness, like what we are doing now, telling them that this you're doing is affecting the ozone layer, is also another form of solution. Educating the public about the importance of the ozone layer and ways to reduce ozone layer substance use. Then community engagements, initiatives to promote sustainable practices and behavior. So what can you do on your own? There are many things that we could do. First, proper disposal of old appliances. If you have old appliances that were produced since maybe the 2007, 2000s and what have you, there is need to dispose it, because some of these products have HCFs and HFCs, or even CFCs, depending on how old your appliances are. Even the cars that are using ACs that are old generation models, those ones have some of these ozone depleting substances. Choosing products labeled as ozone friendly or CFC free. If you're going to the supermarket, you want to buy a hairspray, you want to buy deodorants, depending on whatever aerosol or what refrigerants that you want to use. Maybe your AC is not working, you want to fill the AC gas in your products. This is another way you can take action. Then supporting policies and companies that promote environmental sustainability. Look for companies and patronize them that sell naturally produced stuff. These are things that are good for the environment and will help safeguard our environment. Nigeria, what Nigeria has done on her own is to implement policies to phase out and promote alternatives. Some of these alternatives we are seeing by our public awareness campaigns and educational programs that are being organized, like what we are doing now. Then NESRA, National Environmental Standards, is also responsible for all environmental laws, enforcing them, guidelines, policies, standards and regulations in Nigeria. They have been playing a role since its inception, and they have been doing quite well in it. Local organizations such as ACMAN engaging in activities like tree planting, and here they're also doing that because it also helps Different species of tree also helps combat the effect of ozone effect, ozone layer depletion effects on the trees and plants, on the environment too, clearing dump sites, because most dump sites, people are not disposing their CF an old AC and put there, or put a refrigerant and throw it in the bin, it's affecting us. So be able to know how to recycle some of these materials to the point that do not have effect on the environment. And they also organize webinars such as this to also sensitize everyone. In conclusion, the ozone layer is vital for protecting life on Earth and harmful UV radiation. While significant progress has been made in addressing ozone depletion through international cooperation and policy measures, continuous efforts are needed to ensure the complete recovery of the ozone layer. Individual actions, technological innovations, and sustained public awareness are key components of these global efforts. Thank you very much. If you have some questions, you could drop them. Thank you.